Hey, money makers, welcome back to Over Here We Craft for Money. I'm DJ, and in today's video, we are making the viral Facebook and TikTok pop out designs. So let's jump into this video because we about to do this the easy way. Right, so we are over here in Creative Fabrica. Y'all know this is my jam, and I'm telling y'all we're about to do this the easy way. Now, I tried all the ways that I saw in all of the social media groups that I were in, and people were using Procreate and all of these Photoshop, all these things that I don't have. So when you had to do, kind of the back of the napkin way, as we call it, it's a lot harder than those videos make it seem. But honey, want to turn y'all on to a really easy way to add your own flair but not have to start from scratch. And it starts right on over here with our friends at Creative Fabrica. So the first thing that you want to do is to think about for yourself what you want to make your 3D design about. But to start, just to start, there are so many ways you can search for this. So to get to the one that I used, I put in custom sport and then I just hit enter, because I want to give myself as many opportunities to find the easy way to do this as we possibly can. And so, as you see, in 39 seconds, Creative Fabrica found us 4,802 samples. And baby, there is the first one that popped up that I like. Now, the reason I went with this, and I'm going to show y'all why I like this one, is because it didn't just have football, it had soccer, rugby. So it gives me a lot more room because I didn't really like what I saw for cross country, and it's got all these different colors to choose from. So just so you know, if you decide that you're going to go in this direction, it lets you see all the different colors, and it does give you some hints, right? You can drag your image on, you can change the image here. You'll see how I did that in a minute. But it will tell you that you have to go to Canva in order to download these templates if you don't want to have to make them from scratch. The beautiful thing is, once you download this, you're going to click the link. It's going to have you sign in or sign up, because you do have to have a Canva account to participate and use this resource. But once you're in there, you can edit as you need it by customizing the images, the colors, save it, download it, and do your thing. So we have mine favorited. I have already downloaded it, but for the purposes of the video, I'm going to download it again just so that I can take you step by step through what you want to do. So once you have your account in Creative Fabrica, if you already have the account with them, then this will be included inside of the monthly fee that you pay to access it. If you don't, then you would have to pay for this individual download. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure how much that costs, because again, I have a subscription to Creative Fabrica. So once I get it, I'm going to click Save As, and I am going to move it over into the pop-out tutorial so I'll know which one and where to find it, because my files are a hot mess express. Once it's done that, I'm going to go ahead and click and tell it to open my file. So I know where I already have it at, and because this is a link to accessing Canva, I don't have to worry about extracting it. I can just double click on it. It's going to come up. It lets me know that this is from Celtic Pro. They're thanking me for supporting them. They're giving me instructions on how to access it. All I need to do now is click on Click Me. Once I click on Click Me, it's giving me a view of what I'm about to start designing, and the size it's going to come in at is a 4x6. That's not going to interrupt us when we are designing, but I just want to call that to your attention. Click on View the Template, and you're going to open in Editor. Once we are in there, here is how the image showed up. Now we are going to come back over here to the one that I gave you guys the sneak peek of. All right. And so this is kind of how I jammed it and made it a little different. I'll go back over here to the other one. Oops. I'll go back over here to the other one. This is what it started out as. When I was done, this was how it was jammed out with my guy, Tristan. So we're going to start over here from this one, just so that you can see. Now, what I'm about to make, it may not come out looking exactly like that one, but it's okay because I've already sent him the finished product in 3 different colors, so he can do with it what he will. So let's start by updating some of this stuff and picking the right color for the one that we want. All right, so the first thing that I want you to realize is you have 30 different samples if you use this particular template. So if you want to see all of them in one view, you want to go down to the lower right of your screen and click on grid view. It's the one that looks like 4 little squares. When you click on that, it's going to bring up for you all 30 of the images that is inside of this file that you can edit to your heart is content. They have a whole section of nothing but all kinds of colors for you to choose from. Now, in our case, I went with red because the colors of his school is Hebron Christian Academy, and their colors are red, kind of like a maroon red though, but also like an antique gold. So here was this bright red I was loving. This one had some sparkles in the back with a little bit of the fire boats and stuff, and then here was the gold. So I kind of scrolled first to kind of get an idea of what I was liking. Like, I loved how some of the fire boats showed up and everything. And so, to be quite honest with you, my mind is probably trying to remember. I think if I remember correctly, I probably picked this one because it already had like a little bit of what I was looking for. So if I want to deal with just this one, and again, I've downloaded this, so I'm good to go. And actually, I didn't download it to Canva. Canva, I have it downloaded in my file. So the one thing that I can do, just so that I don't have to keep going through that all the time, is that I can move a copy of this over into my folder, and I can move this over there, and now when I need it, I can always grab it from over there. So the next thing that I'm going to do, because I don't want to have to be, I'm going to be creating some extra pages to go along with what we're working on. So I'm just going to highlight over these, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete them by clicking the delete key. And then again, I'm going to come down and I'm going to get rid of all of them until I'm only having on my screen the one that I want to be working with. And you'll see why that's important in a moment, because we are going to need to add some extra pages. Now, once I have it to just the one I want, I'm going to double click it, and now I have it back on the screen. And now what it's time for me to do is to get it a little bit closer to the colors of his school, right? And so that's what I wanted to be able to do. So I came over here next, and the first thing that I did was I knew that we needed to get the colors together and we needed to get the two names changed. So the template gives us two fonts. One is a premium font that you have to have a Canva subscription to use, and the other one is free. So the one that's free is called Anton. The way you're going to know it's free is that if you click on the font box, it's going to open these things up for you. And if you see a little star next to it, that means you need a premium subscription. If you don't see one, it means you can use it if you don't have an account. If you don't have a subscription. So usually when you first open up an image, the first thing you're going to see are all the fonts that they use inside of your document. Then you'll see what you used. So we know that they're using Anton here, and that's cool. We're going to go ahead and change that, and I'm going to turn that name into DeMesa because that's his last name. The other reason that I really like this font is because when you want to do the pop out or knockout or whatever they want to call it, you need a nice thick font so that you'll see when you're working on it. Like if I click over here, you need something nice and thick for his arms to come through, or the action. So we already have that changed. Now, when I go and I click on the name, it shows me that it is now the one that I have to pay for. It's Maldina Script. I didn't particularly care for that. There is a different script that I prefer. So I clicked on that and I typed in the one that I liked, which is called Benedict. Let's get back in. There it is. So this is also a paid one, but I like this one better, and we can make this just a little bigger so y'all can see. I liked it a little bit better because I want to be able to read it. So his name, we're going to go ahead and put Tristan because that's his name. And I just want to double check. No, I did not capitalize it all, but I did make it bigger because I wanted his name to stand out. So we're going to go ahead and enlarge that. And it already has the offsets around it, which I absolutely love. because when I decided to make this, I was not sure if I was going to leave it on the background or not. So then the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to upload some of the images so I can get the colors that are going to absolutely match with his school. So the next thing that I did and that you will have to do if you're going to customize this for someone is you're going to have to go over and bring in your images. So the first thing that I did was I went and I brought in the image that my cousin sent me. So I'm going to come back 1 second. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to come back and we're going to add a page. All right. And on that add a page, I'm going to bring in the image. This was the actual image they caught of the school photographer caught of him running it. He actually beat his best time by like 2 minutes. I think it was something crazy like that. He's a cross country beast. And then I went to their Facebook page so that I could find some of the colors of the school, because I really wasn't sure what I was going to use. So I wanted to give myself some choices. But what it also did was gave me choices that had the actual school colors. So that was important. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this out just a little bit and I'm going to drag this one up so that it's actually on my screen that I want to be using. And the next thing that I knew was that I wanted to tag the school. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the frame because they were nice enough to give us a good frame, honey. So we're going to bring that on in and now we have us a frame. Why is this important? Because now when I'm ready to change the color, now it is going to give me the colors that are inside of the image that I brought in. So I can start to make sure that my font colors are complementary to my image. And that was really, really important. So for now, I think I made this one gold. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I said they have the antique gold. If we kind of like look at the logo there, it's kind of that antique gold. So that's the one I'm going to go with there. So far, as you can see, it's already looking different, right? So the next thing that I knew was that some of this red was just a little too red and he was going to wash out. So the good thing is these things that are on here are smoke, and these can either be deleted or they can be removed. So just to keep us honest with that, we want to make sure we're bringing in colors that are more complementary to here. So now we're going to customize our smoke. All right. So because I want to play with the colors of the smoke, I can click on the color wheel right here. And again, it's going to bring me up image colors that I can make to complement. So I know we need a white in there. So that's what we started to change there. Now, if I'm not sure, I can always move it and then click on the other one. And now it's starting to show me what some of those background colors are. So then I want to go over there. And again, I want to bring in some colors that complement the school. Now that yellow is super uber bright. So I think I want to bring in maybe one of their colors. Some of it I can't kind of tell because it's hiding, but it's kind of like down there at the bottom. And it's also giving us kind of the outline of the part of the school. So I'm going to go ahead and let that be. But then I see I got this orange colored one back over in here. So I'm going to move this down because that's what they put behind the name to make the name kind of pop up. But I want to go ahead and try to brighten that up. And as you can see, they got like a whole bunch of different colors over here that's making that possible. So I think what I want to do, because what I'm going to put that behind is going to have like an offset. So I think I want to turn that one, and we're going to take some of this purple out and I'll throw some of the red in there. And then I think I'm going to take that blue out and I'll throw some of the, I don't know, light taupe there. And then I'm going to take this color out and maybe give it a little, no, too white. Okay, let's see. That rust brown, is that too dark? I think that's too dark, right? So when I'm not sure about my colors, and I think it's gonna, oh, okay, well that red kind of came in kind of good. But I can also always come over here to the wheel and I can see and just kind of drag until I find a color that I like. It's up to me. So I think I'm gonna go with that. that red, it'll still give it kind of that look that I'm going for. So then I'm gonna bring all of this back, and I think I want to update this one just a little bit more because we want to give that a little bit more color. So I'm gonna try that. See, that's in that back. So maybe what I'll do for now, just so that I can really see it good, is I'm gonna take the black away and I'm gonna make my background white so I can make sure that I'm giving myself a little bit more diversity of color. So I'm gonna click on that again. And I think I want to bring that color up, right? So I think we are going to go with, that's a nice little smoky color. It's crimson, so that's a nice little look. And then again, like I said, if I want to bring in more, I don't want to get that purple look, so I think I'm going to come back over in there. And then I do think that we need a little bit of some red to come in there a little bit. I do. So what we're going to do there is go over to elements, and we're going to type in smoke. And actually I'm going to say red smoke, and see what that brings me. There's some red, but now I'm going to open that up a little bit because it needs a little bit. And then we're going to change that red, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to give us a little more of our crimson color. There we go. So I like that. And then because I don't like that harsh line right there, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to duplicate it. Duplicate, and then we want to flip that vertical so that I don't have that harsh line hanging out where I didn't want that to be. And then I'm going to click on transparency, and I'm going to bring that transparency down a little bit because it doesn't need to be that deep, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one, right? Because I don't need it to be that deep. And I'm going to bring that transparency down on that one as well, so that it's not hanging out there, making it too deep and too dark. All right, and then that also helps with that harsh line, but we're not going to see that in a moment because we're going to manipulate our page. All right, so it looks a little bit more than what I have from before, but I'm okay with that because it washes itself out and it's still going to look really good, right? All right, and then we'll do the same thing with that one. Okay, so now we kind of have our little looks right here. That part is looking like I want it to look, except Tristan is buried behind all of these things. So anytime your words start washing out, you want to click on position, and you want to click on layers so that you can see what you're working with. Whatever you put highest here to the top on the left, that's what's going to stand out. So I'm going to bring Demesa up so that now it's not hanging behind all that fuzz and smoke. And just like Tristan is washed out, I don't want that. So I'm going to bring that up to the top. And now he's back popping like I want him to be. And then again, my text is down here. So we want to bring that up against any smoke so nothing is hiding. And then of course, we're going to end up moving this anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it above the smoke so that the smoke is literally the background. And then this is just kind of hanging there because we're going to decide if we're going to end up using that or not. Okay. All right. So now, so far, so good. We have our name and we have our image that we're using. And so if we go back over here and kind of look, it's like, okay, we starting to get there. It's starting to look like it's something. So the next thing that we're going to do is we have him already down here. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to just bring our image. We're going to click on our image on our saved page, and we're going to bring it on up here to the potential picture we're going to work with. Now, in some of the pop-up videos that you have probably watched, you have seen them use framed numbers to put the person in and to do all of that. Baby, that's hard. This is the easy way. So first thing you want to do here is I want to get rid of the background. These were in the photo already, but I don't want that. So I'm going to click background remover. Now I've got my image looking real good. Couple things here. if you have a frame on your page, which we do, remember we dropped this image in here. If you are not careful and you bring this image anywhere near the frame, that image is going to want to pop into that frame like so. If I do this, guess what it does? It just took away what we wanted. So we don't want to do that. So how do you navigate around your page? You use the outside of the boundary, and now you see it didn't come over there if I do that. So next thing we want to do is we're going to make this just a little bit bigger, because now we got to decide where on the page do we want his arm popping through. So we got a lot to choose from, but because I want to make sure that at some point I'm able to customize this image so that it stands out for being a cross-country pop out, I want to be careful where I put him. One thing that I want to make sure that we know we have to do over here, go into the background remover, and I'm going to go to magic eraser. And this is the feature that you want to use whenever there is something in the image that you know is going to get in the way. And for me, I know that this tennis shoe is going to get in the way. So I'm going to use magic eraser, and I'm just going to brush that right on out. Once I click on magic eraser, give the blue bar a chance to go across. Once it goes away, if you click your arrow back, now if I double click on this image, the gym shoe is gone. All right, I forgot to film that part, but I want to make sure that you guys know how to remove anything that you don't think you're going to need from the main image. Now, this next part is the hardest to me. After you have your image, you want to duplicate it and use the purple grid lines that Canva provides to line the images up on top of each other. And now we are going to do some creative cropping. We're going to start to crop away the portion of the top image that we don't need. And that's how you create the pop out effect. The fact that the wording has a great offset around it in white makes this part so much easier than having to create a frame and then figure all of this stuff out. So what you see me doing here on the screen is just removing portions of the first part of the top of the image that I do not need. And that's what's going to allow the arm to pop out across the letter M as I pull it in so you can see, and move the box lines so that it looks like his arm is coming through the M, yet on top of the letter E. So that's our first portion of the pop out. And any image you're working with, all you have to do is keep creating the duplicates so that you can remove what you don't need, keep what you do need, and there you have an easy way of getting to the pop-out design. Once I move up that bottom part of the duplicate of the arm, it actually created a pop out between his jersey, the letter E, and the letter D. Now, every image is not going to get lucky like this, and that's why I think some people that are showing these videos on the tutorials of how to do it are just using the image in Canva. But I wanted to challenge myself and make an image that was more applicable to my personal experience, which is my nephew, who is a cross-country track star. So I wanted you guys to see that it doesn't always have to be what's already pre-made. You can jazz it out yourself and still make yourself some nice coins while being super uber creative. So now once all of that is done, now it's just time to flash it out with a little bit of flair. So let's do that now. So now we have him popped out. We have him arm popping through with our action right here with his fist, and we have him behind the image that we need him behind, and we have gotten rid of the gym shoe. So now what we want to do is to come over to layers, click on layers, and now let's get with everything we want to start to group together. So we know that we need to group together this portion because we need it. And you're going to hold down your shift key so that you can click on other things. We know we need the Mesa, so we're going to click on that. We know we need him, so we're going to click on him. And we're going to go ahead and release the shift key and click group. And now this whole part is together. And that's critical because right now we just kind of made a whole smoky situation. But I don't like that I got all of that on that harsh line. So I'm going to play with this a little bit more. and I'm gonna move them up a little bit more. I'm gonna make them a little more visible inside of the design. Sometimes it's hard to click on the design underneath it, so I always kind of come back over here to the other portions under layers so that I can move stuff around the way that I want to do it. I can enlarge it the way I want to do it. And again, I've got that red portion that I'd like to bring up into the design a little more. But I'd have to move my sides so we can get some of that smoky look going and not such harsh edges. All right, I'm liking that a whole lot better. All right, so now we're gonna mess with his name. So to get to his name, I'm gonna click anywhere on the image and then I'm gonna click on his name. And now the mouse knows that I'm messing with his name. So I'm going to build that up a little bit bigger. I'm gonna move it in the angle that I want it in. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna push him. I push the words behind him. So that's where you're gonna see me go up there. And the closest to the top brings everything to the front of your image. So now I've got my motion behind it. I've got his name. I've got his last name. So now I didn't like how the photo was taken as it made his arm look a little weird. So, oops, the good thing I moved that because I want to bring all this down that was hiding underneath. All right, so we're gonna bring him back down where he needs to be. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on my little image here and I'm gonna move that up. And that's why I did that. And then I can either move it to the front from here. So it comes up and now it covers that weird shadow that they had on his arm as he was leaning across the finish line. So I prefer it that way. Now, the next thing is I don't want all this bottom part looking like this. If we go back over and look at our original, I used some creativeness to hide the stark harshness of that. That's another part of where our image came from with the smoke. So we're going to click on this again. And I am going to go back to this red because I really did like that. And I'm going to click on duplicate it. So it comes up again. Now I have it. And what I like to do to try to take some of that harshness out is I kind of want to bring it up just a little bit and a little over. And then what I like to do is I want to, oops, not crop it, stop that. I want to be able to flip it. And I think I'm going to flip it horizontally so that if those harsh lines are going to come, they're going to come down near where that was. I'm going to bring it out a little bit so that I can bring that part up a little bit. I really hate the harsh lines at the bottom. Y'all just don't even know. I'm not a fan because I kind of like the colors they got going on up in here. I think I'm gonna expand them and bring them out and over and use what I got because I do like it. I ain't gonna lie and say I don't. And it don't got them harsh lines that I'm not a fan of, which is awesome. So I'm gonna bring that down. Oop, look what we did. Look what we did. Like it so much better. Like it. The other thing is I wanted to jazz this part up just a little bit more. So I went over into elements and we are going to click on white lightning. So is it white lightning bolt? Yes, here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, so we got to find the one we like. And this one is always pretty. And the cool part about it is here's the lightning bolt. It came in great. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge it just a little bit, move it over. We are definitely going to flip it because I want it coming out from behind him. I want to put some lightning bolts in his life because he is swift feet. Okay. And then what we're going to do, obviously, is we want to change these colors. So we're going to go get us, I think this is where like a really good red would come in. And then that yellow is super harsh, boy. That yellow is insane. Okay, so now though, let's see, we did that. kind of came in a little pink, which I mean, I guess that's okay. So that came from there, but that's okay because a little bit of jazz is a little bit of jazz. So the next thing we want to do is click on position, and we want to make sure that the lightning bolts are behind him, but not behind the smoke. So there's where that's coming from. And then if I wanted to, I could click on it. I can duplicate it and I can bring another one kind of like right there. And if I want, I can move it to the back because again, remember, we don't want it at the top. We want it back behind him. And the great thing is his leg is hiding this. So now it is looking all like fire. Next is that we wanted to put cross country. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go and get me a text box and I type it out first, right? So in the text box, I wanted Hebron Christian Academy, and then I wanted cross country. You spelled that all wrong, didn't I? Country. All right, we're gonna make that bigger. We're gonna bring it down here so it becomes, oops, so we still got country wrong. All right, there we go. Now, the next thing I do have to say is I did change the font. For this particular one, I use one of my favorites. You do have to have the account, but it is Zing Rust Base. I love this one. And I made it bigger, right? I got it as big as I wanted it to be, right? And then what I did was we're going to change this color because we got to bring in some of his gold, right? Because we don't see a lot of the gold. So I'm going to come over here and change a couple things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it and I'm going to go ahead in with this antique gold. So I have to highlight it in blue. And then of course I've got my image here that's going to pull it from there, or I could pull it from here. So I'm going to click off so I can see that I like that. I do like that. It's kind of a little darker than the sign, so I'm probably going to bring that color up just a little bit more. I just don't want it this stark gold, so maybe I'll go that one. Okay, I like that one much better. All right, so now we're going to give this an outline. Effects will really change your fonts. Going to go ahead and click effect. I'm going to change this color to, all right, now when you are in this image, you won't be able to see your colors. So it's really going to go by what you already have up there. And that's fine. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to change my thickness just a little bit so I can see it. And then I gave it a little pizzazz and I gave it a curve. It was curved down at 59. I'm just going to drag it up until I like the curve that I see. All right, so now I like the curve that I see. This is looking okay for me. Let's come out a little bit so we can kind of see it. We don't want to see this part, right? So we probably are going to need to bring us a little bit more of our smoke situation. So I'm going to come back for elements and I'm going to click on white smoke and just let it bring me up some white smoke, right? Gonna click on it so it can really bring it. And then I gotta just find one that's gonna work. Let's see. That looks decent because really what I'm just trying to do is I am trying to cover off kind of that starkness of the bottom of the pants. And one thing I noticed when I did it the first time is I kind of stretched it enough so that it kind of looped in. You can still see the bottom of his pants, but you know, the more you play with it and do the stuff, you be making changes as you go. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna make a little bit of change. And then again, I wanna just kind of show that. I wanna just put a little more smoke. And then again, we go to our layers and we just wanna make sure that this layer is behind over there by the other one. So this way, we know that it is not going to infringe, okay? So now we have our letters. I'm going to shrink that back down just a little bit because what I don't want is I don't want HCA hanging out over there. That looks great. The next thing I want to do is give him his tagline. So I'm going to create this. I'm going to duplicate this one more time. I am going to shrink the wording and I'm going to go back into effects and I am going to take that curve away. I am also going to shrink my font, okay, because I need to make a phrase down here. And the phrase that we are putting, to make sure it's going to fit, I'm going to open it up, stretch it out. Oops. Let's do this. Let's bring her all the way over to the end. Let's stretch her all the way out. And then let's change our words. And I put in cross, I put in, oops, every season is cross. Oh, come on. Country season. Once I have it, I'm going to shrink it down so it all fits on one line. Now you got to remember, we're not in 100% view, right? But if we were in our 100% view, you're going to be able to see it and it's going to look awesome. So now we are done. And just like that, we have our first one, right? Now I like our first one. I played around with this a really long time, but for the purpose of our video, I just wanted to show you how quickly you can use what's in Creative Fabrica to customize it and make it jam for you. So now what I want to do, I'm going to get rid of everything on the page. I have everything the way that I want it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and highlight everything. I'm going to grab on and highlight everything. Now, in theory, I should want to clean some of this crap up. Anything kind of hanging out and over, you know, you can bring that stuff down in Canva. It'll let you kind of clean out the overhang. You won't always know until you touch on it. But like in this one, I could ungroup it and then I could click on the outside part and bring it in just so I clean up any overhangs, right? Because, you know, sometimes we just want to design clean. So when I do all of this, I can see and you just run your mouse over and it'll highlight and start to show you what's hanging out. Like, so when I come down here, there's nothing. Come around, seeing a little something that keeps wanting to show me. All right, now coming around, I don't see anything. All right, so now I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything. Once I do that, it's all contained. I'm going to click group. And now my whole image, including my lightning bolts and everything, is great and grouped. Image is looking fantastic. What you'll want to do is you will want to duplicate. And in his case, I duplicated the page 3 times. The first page had a white background. My second page, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ungroup for the purpose of this. I'm going to hover over one of the images, position, layer, and then I'm going to go find my main layer in the back. I'm going to come up here to the color wheel where it says background color, and I'm going to give him black because black is always super popular. It looks so good. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to position. I'm going to click the background color, and then I'm going to come over here. And because I gave him the Hebron Christian Academy colors, I can make that background look like this one. I can make it be the taupe one, which is what I did. I can make it be brown. I can make this background whatever color I want to make it. I can even get jazzy and I can make it with the default gradient colors that they have down there so that it just really gives your looks, you know, changes your look. But what I sent to my cousin and her son was I sent it to him with this one. So then what you do is you come over here and you're going to look at everything. And now look at our image. How awesome sauce does this look, y'all? Like, so good. It looks so good. And that is pop out using Canva. So let's get me back on the screen so we can talk about what you can do with this super easy hack for the 3D pop out. All right, moneymakers, so that is the video. I wanted to make this video so that we who do not have like Photoshop and Procreate and some of the more high-end, more costly um, software programs could still capitalize on a really super cool trend that's not only hot right now, but you can make money from this all year round. And let me tell you how, and then we will talk pricing. So I think, as I said in the video, a lot of people love the trend and want to show us. And I love that, right? Because the creativity that you can kind of expound when you have some of the higher end software is just off the chart. But I am no graphic designer. That is not what I went to school for. Okay. That is not my background and profession. This is me dabbling in my creative juices and just, letting myself run wild with what's out there. But part about being a moneymaker is we don't need to be spending a whole lot of money before we actually make some. And I fundamentally believe that it's about either saving money for what you're doing or making the money for what you're doing. Either way, it puts money in your bank account. And so I was committed to making this video, one, because I love the idea of it, but I also wanted to challenge myself to see, could I make something just as quality with what I have to work with? And once I figured out that I could not wait to bring it over here to my YouTube channel and share with you my moneymakers. So 2 things that I will say. There is an upfront investment of, as I said, Creative Fabrica. It's about $47 was what it was when I first paid for it. And as you can see, every time we do something, and this is not a sponsored video, but every time we do something, we are able to go into Creative Fabrica and find a way to get it done, because artists and creatives make it easier for us. Getting these 30 templates is a game changer, because not only can you customize it to make it what you want for this 3D pop-up, these are super popular around graduation time, birthday. These could be wedding, things on your wedding announcements, wedding invitations, holiday parties, Thanksgiving. I mean, this can be a money maker for you. Now, a couple things you should not do with this just because you found it on Creative Fabrica, because again, as I stated in my video about infringement and being very careful about that, you cannot take the 30 templates that I showed you at the beginning of this video and repackage it, move a color or two around, and then try to sell it as a 30 package digital download on your Etsy shop. That's copyright infringement. Please don't do that. But what you can do with the resource that some amazing creative made possible for us is you can take that, add your creative flair, and challenge yourself to come up with something different than what you're seeing other people do, and then charge your customers accordingly. Me personally, this doesn't fall within the niche of my sorority. You guys know that I'm a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. However, this is something that I can implement in our decor when we're having meetings and I want to highlight a soror and make her feel super special. So don't be surprised if you guys see this coming up again for me during the Christmas holiday as I'm getting ready for some of our sorority gatherings. But I made the video and I challenged myself to not do the football ones because I love football, but I don't have anybody that makes football, plays football, right? Tristan is an amazing track runner. I remember the first 5K that he visited me and we did. I'm a walker. So he walked, he ran a little and walked with Auntie Dale. But you know what? At the end, he ran across that finish line and got his first medal. And I really think that's when the cross country bug bit him. And he's been running ever since. And he's amazing. He's a sophomore and he actually made his varsity team. So that's so amazing to me. And I could not help but want to celebrate him. But I challenged myself because I kept seeing everybody make football because it's football season. But I wanted to challenge myself and make something more relevant to me so you can do the same. The other reason that I say that this is an evergreen opportunity for you is because people are graduating all times of the year for all sorts of things. People get certificates, people get PhDs, people get nursing degrees. You name it, people are getting it. There's a whole group of people that are going to be completing their college degrees in December. And you can capitalize on this. You can put these images on robes. You can put these on invitations. You can put them on shirts. You can put them on the fans. If it's a sporting event, you can use it for that. This is a template and a creative idea that you can do a whole lot with. Now, what I will tell you, because you cannot package 30 and repurpose their things, and most people are not going to buy 40 of them, right? Unless maybe they're a graduate, then they might do something like that. But in this example, if I was making this package and let's say it was not my cousin and she was buying this, I wouldn't be just selling this one digital download that he could use like on his phone screen or to make a poster with. I would be selling it as a t-shirt, a tumbler. Well, first of all, a t-shirt for him, a phone screen for him, maybe one of those drawstring knapsacks for him because they always carrying stuff around. Then I would do a mom and dad and a grandma t-shirt, a grandpa t-shirt. If he got siblings, kind of try to bundle. If they want a shirt, bundle them together. And because you're doing this in Canva, you're going to be able to download this as a transparent PNG so that you can then outsource this to DTF if you don't have a DTF printer, which I do not, right? But you don't want to spend that kind of money making one DTF print. So if you're going to do it, you want to bundle it together so that it's worth your time and your money. How would you package for pricing? I'm never going to tell you how to do it in your business, but if I were going to integrate this, I would absolutely add up the cost of whatever blanks it's going to take to go on. I would absolutely add up what is the cost. How am I going to actually transfer this? Is this going to be sublimation? Then how much are my sublimation shirts? How much is my ink? How much is my paper? And how much is my time? And then I'm going to put all that together and I'm going to give them a one-time price. The one thing that I can tell you is people will try to go on the low for a lot of things, but baby, not their kids. When they celebrating their kids, they go all out. Have you seen these people who brought bridal dresses and rented Maseratis for prom? Y'all better get out here and get y'all money. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope this hack encourages you, if you don't have all that expensive software, to still give this a try, because with just a little creativity, a little help from Creative Fabrica, and a little help from Canva, you can make the 3D pop shirt, cup, bag, trend, photo, screensaver, a poster for the room. You can do the same thing the big wigs is doing and make yourself a little bit of money. So until my next video or until my next live, bye everybody. I really hope you found this video helpful and that you will like it. Give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to hype it up. It's a new feature on YouTube and it really helps small YouTubers like myself grow. So I hope I can count on each and every one of you to give this video a hype. Until next time.